hit the sack, kapow, attacks, smack those troubles down, KO that down. 1, 2, 3 a.m. Or is it midnight still? The windowsills are a million miles away, but your lucky star, he's here for sure. Down there neath the sheets, the world is yours to conquer, won't be long then. I'm the king and you're the pawn, we're a perfect pair. Girl, you made the right mistake, choose me instead of constant heartbreak. Now let's raise the stakes, go on, you earned it. Ask for any wish, I'm on it, granted, word for word, I promise. Baby, that's the charm, you got it made, yes. Don't you be afraid, just a moment's time, you wonder why you ever thought you'd ever look for one. And you got this, baby, you got and me. Ooh, buckle up tonight. You wanna get away, forget it, baby. I've got you in my sights. They never got, they won't ever learn. And for heaven's sake, just a moment's time, you wonder why you ever thought you'd ever look for more than you got. 'Cause baby, you've got you and me.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Salt Shakers. This is your host Crono, and tonight who'll be joining me tonight, or today, really, tonight. But yeah, we'll be having two guests from Wellington. As everyone knows, I'm in Wellington at the moment. Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be back very, very shortly with these guests.
Welcome to the Super Salt Shaker Podcast. Crono. Get ready for the next podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Salt Shakers. This is your boy Crono, and who will be joining us today would be one of my old-time friends there, Kyokei, also known as Alex.
Hi, how's it going? It's Alex here.
Yep, and we also have Oro, who is also going to be hosting our Rambat session this weekend.
Yep.
Hi, Oro.
Tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, cool. So so let's just get right into it. I mean, obviously, you know, Alex, you don't really play Tekken anymore.
No,
you know,
not
you're sort of retired now
Yes,
and,
that's right.
everything. But tell me, you know, obviously you still keep up with some of the, you know, with some of the more prominent players around the Wellington FGC, I'd say. You know, like Ajith, you still sort of...
Yeah, just the
contact them.
ones, yeah, and then you got his friend David,
Yeah.
Take Off Heaps as
Mhm.
well, and they're all the only ones I really know left. All the other ones, they're all really names I'm not familiar with anymore, actually.
Yeah, well, you've got like, you know, On Tilt, Toothy, you know, all those guys have just moved on to sort of bigger things, really.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
That's right. Just moved overseas, and some of them doing the OE now, so
Mm-hmm.
some of the best players around.
Yeah.
And probably still would be the best players around.
Yeah, so how about, you know, for Tekken, especially there? I mean, you've started at quite in the early Tekkens, really. I mean, I remember you saying that you started
Tekken 1.
Tekken 1.
Yes, it was.
You, okay, well, obviously, you know, you're definitely showing your age now.
Thanks.
So, with Tekken 1 there, I mean, it wasn't really a competitive scene at that point, really.
No, everyone's all about playing the Street Fighter back then.
Yeah.
And not even a bit of Mortal Kombat as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Tekken was just for people just to have was quite novelty back then, because you had Virtua Fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was Tekken.
Yeah.
There was about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just it was only a small handful, probably about 5 or 10 people that just you would often know them by name.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
none of us were really any good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, for sure. So, but in terms of, let's say, competition-wise, when did you actually start getting competitive?
More of Tekken 3, when a lot of people came in. That's when On Tilt came in as well.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the older guys. And you had a couple of Thai guys around as well. They
Yeah.
were really competitive back then.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of Koreans around
Was
as
this
well.
this was 3, right?
Tekken 3, yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yep. Okay. Well, what about yourself, Oro? You know, I know that you've been playing fighting games as long as I've known you, really.
Yeah, since like the early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
plays from Mortal Kombat 1 onwards.
You know what's funny is that the FGC, more players are sort of older in terms of age. You get some of the newer kids coming around, but the majority of the FGC are all older people. What do you guys think?
You mean like the mature, like the 30s, mid-30s?
Yeah, well, some of them have probably moved on, you know, having, starting a family, you know, they're too busy to play because of their career and things like that. So I guess that's probably where you've sort of stepped off the whole sort of bandwagon, just because, you know, you're too busy with, your career and, you know, your family and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. And also another big thing is I just could not keep up in it all as well. All these new ones coming up, they catch on really quick as well.
They do. They're very,
really quick
very
now.
fast learners.
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah. I guess it's also because, you know, they are lab monsters as well. You know, if you guys don't know what that is, but it's just basically them just being in practice mode and just repetitively just sort of seeing what works, what doesn't, and things like that.
Yeah. Another thing is that once you pass 30, your reflexes go down. So you're not as quick on the...
It's so funny because we're all past 30
Yeah.
now. We're all actually at that,
like
at that
we're
age.
a bit slower. You might not notice it, but they've got the edge on us.
Well, who's the top dog here now? I mean, it's still a Jith, isn't it, for Tekken?
Yeah, for Tekken definitely. Like
It's still Blackout.
yeah, like a couple of weeks ago he got beaten, but he's still in first place.
But the thing is that, you know, you still have people. There's still. I know that there's this new kid on the block, which is also his name's Skarg, is it? In Wellington,
I'm not sure. Like,
and he's actually, you know, quite good. I mean, even according to Cornwallis,
yeah,
and everyone, yeah, they're saying that, you know, he's the uprising star for the Wellington FGC for Tekken.
he's all we need to cut the fingers off.
So Oro, I mean, I know that, you know, for you, Tekken is kind of like a sort of like a side dish. So, you know, what is really your main game? Is it King of Fighters? Is it? It's all kinds of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I play everything I can, really, aside from Marvel and Smash. At the moment I'm doing a lot of old SNES games, old SNES fighters, like Battle Tycoon, Sailor Moon, Not Clay Fighter, just old things like that, and doing them online with people. It's a lot of fun. I'll play more Tekken, but there's no Anna, so...
You can always go with Nina.
No, it doesn't play the same.
Doesn't play the same?
No, not at all. It's very
No?
different.
No? Okay, well, all I remembered was, I mean, because I've known you two for so long, you know, especially for yourself there, Alex, you know, I've known you since, you know, I started playing Tekken, really. I didn't really know too much about the game back then, and, you know, because you were also a Xiao Yu player at the time.
Right.
You know, there was a few setups and things like that you know, I didn't really know. I didn't even know what a setup was, really, until you sort of explained to me. It's like, oh, look, man, you didn't know what the hell you were doing at all. So
Was that mean to you back then?
you were a dick.
I'm
You
sorry
were
for
such
that.
a dick. But yeah, it was mainly just, hey, look, you need to focus more on your setups. You need to focus more on your punishing because you don't know what the hell you're doing. So watch me and stuff like that. And it wasn't just Tekken that we sort of played. It was other arcade games.
Yeah, but
such
it was
as-
just mainly Tekken though, isn't it?
We
That's all-
did
that's all
partner up a lot and played like Time Crisis and House of the Dead and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're branching out of fighting games, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but with fighting games, it's mainly Tekken. You didn't play too much Street Fighter at the time,
No,
did
not
you?
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters. I was never really good at King of Fighters. That's what more of Oro's forte.
Older ones, sure.
Well, the
Yeah.
funny thing is that I started off at King of Fighters, and that's how I knew you.
Yep.
And this was back in the the Kylera days
Yeah.
where we had the client and
Playing WinCoX.
yeah, WinCoX, and it was
We're on the-
it was on dial up as well.
yeah, dial up on the Auckland server.
And and it was like we still got like what 150 ping.
It,
It wasn't even a New Zealand server, mate. It was like an
no,
Australian
that
server.
was the Auckland server. We played on the Auckland server.
I thought it was in Australia.
No, no. We definitely did the Auckland server.
Oh, and it was still bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, now I can get like 20 ping on that thing. It's
yeah, I know. do you still go on it?
No, I've tried it. I had a look occasionally, but I generally spend more time on mid-def now with better net
Isn't it
play.
like GG? What is
It's
it
not
called?
really GGPO. It's,
Yeah, GGPO.
It's still desync, so it's
Oh,
not
okay.
GGPO.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
a lot
because
better.
with that one we had so many problems with King of Fighters. It was just desyncing all the time.
Hey, I
We
won.
always had
No,
to-
I won. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It was so bad. It was so bad.
I think that's good for both parties because then neither of you get to lose.
Yeah.
So everyone's happy.
The time that I knew you, though, it was, I mean, that's where I knew you online, was through that client.
Yeah, you felt quite young then when we talked. So did I, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It was weird, man. I mean, you were living in Christchurch at the time,
Yeah.
and you were just basically telling me all these sort of setups and all these combos with like, all the King of Fighter characters. And yeah, that's pretty much how we went. But then I guess that for me is, as everyone knew, as everyone that's actually listening to it right now, I was a King of Fighters player, and then I broke my leg, and then pretty much I just started playing Tekken Tag 1
How does breaking your leg
because
change
I had
your-
I had nothing to do.
Okay.
And I couldn't really go out or anything, so I was just spending all this time playing games. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. But anyway, enough about me. What about you guys there? So Alex, I need to get you to talk more. How did you actually start, like, the whole, because obviously when I first met you, you started becoming the Tekken, one of the Tekken Zaibatsu moderators. So obviously you were quite into the game back then. You were quite passionate.
Was quite passionate. I would read up a lot because On Tilt and Toothy, they would always have all this frame data they carry on with them in
Yeah.
the encyclopedia.
Didn't
And I
you
was-
say that On Tilt had a massive ring binder?
It was a massive bring driver. It probably had, I don't know, 200-300 pages of
Yeah.
all his frame data, especially with his favorite characters, the
Mhm.
Mishimans.
Yep.
And he would always talk about it. And then you couldn't help but just get sucked into it as well.
So he was a friend of yours before Tekken?
No, I actually did meet him at during Tekken actually,
Okay,
but it was during Tekken Tag.
right. This
So-
was the first Tekken tag, just after 3, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Tekken
okay.
Tag 1,
Mhm.
and then there was a place called Luna Park where they would have 5 rounds and then unlimited time or max time. So we would just sit there and just max out the rounds and just play as long as possible and just learn all the frames.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll sit there for 5 hours and just use up
All the frames? That's a lot of
No,
frame work.
that was him, but I was never really good at learning all the frames,
Mhm.
unlike him.
Right.
Basically, he was a genius, in my opinion anyway.
Didn't you say that he went over to
To Sydney?
Sydney and then what was the win streak that he raked up?
I believe he racked up about 70 to 75 odd. I believe it was
To
in-
Aussie players.
to Aussie player. I believe all sort of players, but it was I think it was arcade called Galaxy Time or something in
Mhm.
George Street. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was there.
Mm-hmm.
And that record I saw after a while as well. ever when I went over to Australia to live.
Oh yeah. And so basically, it's just always sitting at the top.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was taken over after a while.
Okay.
But
70 something wins.
It was 70 something wins, and then
That's
I think
insane.
I think he just got tired afterwards.
Okay.
So that's what I believe. But if he's listening or anyone knows him, you can ask him to correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm. And did you say that, because he had that massive ring binder, like even, I think it was Tony T, he was pretty much like the top dog over there?
Tony T was, yeah, that's right. Tony T at the time was probably
The guy?
the guy to know. He had his PS2 in his car that he would play, with all the other players as well, and his Evo. And but yeah, there was a lot of other players as well. A lot of Koreans that were pretty good as well.
Yeah.
But Tony T was definitely one of the top then. Was for a while.
Mm-hmm. And that, with that, that was a name that we all remembered, but I think that to the younger people that just started playing Tekken 7, those names didn't really matter at all. Everyone's just pretty much going on about JDCR and Saint and all those other people now.
Yes.
All the people that just, and I guess that what a lot of the younger people want is that they really want the FGC, especially for Tekken, to really skyrocket,
Yep.
just so that more people will play. There'll be more sponsorships and things like that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. To get as big as probably LOL, you reckon?
It's not going to get as big as League of Legends, but hopefully it will get big. But the thing is that with fighting games, or with any fighting games really, it's it basically it needs a really good connection in order to play someone that's not in the country, unless you meet up with them.
Yep.
But yeah, and plus it's there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration, like your preference of controller and things like that, and it's always just a hassle lugging those things around, especially like just a fight stick is pretty heavy, and it takes up a lot of room in your luggage.
About 4 to 5 kilos for a decent one, yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
it's not ideal, but unless people have the equipment there. But the other downside of that is that it's not a custom made that you are always that you're used to,
Yeah.
and things like that, which is really important in the fighting game.
Yeah, it would be. And
Yeah.
also, I don't really follow many of the tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of the names I've heard of, but I just don't know how famous or how good they really are and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really am out of it as well. So you're talking to someone who's been out in the wilderness for about a good 4 to 5 years now.
Well, you're sort of also graying on the side there, so it's
Comes with,
like I said, it really shows you're really
Comes with
showing your
stress.
age.
it's called character, but it
Yeah.
comes with stress.
Grandpa Alex, eh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, what's this, about on Sunday that you're having this tournament? It's not really a tournament,
No,
isn't
it's
it?
just casuals.
Casuals?
Because
Okay.
over the Christmas period, a lot of the main people can't come in for the normal Ranbats they organise. So I've been organising the weekly Ranbats, like in this.
Who normally organises the?
Generally it's Ajit and Griever.
Really?
Yeah.
A Jith? Okay.
I don't know if he organises it, but he was one that always organises the tournaments. He always organises the Tekken tournaments.
So, is there actually a Standing Fierce crew in Wellington?
I'm not too sure. I've seen a couple of Standing Fierce t-shirts, but I haven't gone and talked to many of them.
Oh, okay. So, so basically, the FGC is in Wellington. Tell me more about that. Like, obviously, it's there's a lot of different fighting games that you guys play as well.
Absolutely. Like, they obviously there's Tekken 7.
Yeah.
There's still some people that play Street Fighter 5. I don't know why.
Oh, come on, man.
There's some people playing Marvel now, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the people that are like me and who bring in old games like Garo and SNES games.
And we don't know why.
Yeah, no, man, Garo's better than Street Fighter. Yeah, like
So, how many people can you say actually plays Garo Mark of the Wolves?
There's about 5 to 6 right now.
5 to 6?
But only 3, I would say, know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Like we're training the other ones up,
Mm-hmm.
but like, at the moment it's just there's the top 3, then there's the rest.
Okay. All right. So, and you also play that game, eh?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
jam it. Who do you pick?
I go everyone.
Everyone.
I play everyone. I know every character in the game.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's different. What about who's top tier in that game?
Top tier is Kevin Ryan
Oh, okay.
because he's got very very damaging combos.
He's the guy that sort of looks like military looking.
Yeah, he looks like
yeah.
military Yashiro from King of Fighters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Brian.
And he's also got infinites. Hotaru is also quite high up there. She's got a couple of infinites of her own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but generally it's all how you play the game. It's not reliant on the infinites because they're quite hard to execute.
Yeah. True. Mark of the Wolves is a very good game. Yeah, I do agree that Mark of the Wolves is actually a really good game. I think that it's actually it's one of those games where they haven't given enough credit to really because it's. I don't know. It's a Fatal Fury game, essentially, but...
it was SNK's answer to Street Fighter 3. Like, those two games are, in tandem, like, the best of that franchise. Like, competitive-wise.
Okay. So, okay, but SNK, though, I mean, to be honest, it just seems like they kind of have one sort of engine, and then they just rely on that engine. I mean, if you think about it, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000 essentially is pretty much, it's the same. It looks very similar.
You know, the engine did change from 95 to 96.
I know that.
I think the Striker system was a new engine, but I'm not sure. It definitely changed when it went to a Thomas Wave. Like, they kept the same kind of assets and animation quality, but they just ramped up the game itself.
Yeah.
And then obviously going to 12 and 13, it completely changed, and 14's much better now.
Okay.
Yeah. The engine was really dated by 2001 as well.
Yeah, well,
6 years of it.
Yeah, it's definitely looks a lot older, you know, and it doesn't really age. I mean, well, it's still a 2D game, and 2D games age a lot better than 3D games in a way. If you think about it, you know,
get some Toshinden and
I mean, Tekken Tag 1 didn't really age that well.
No, very very pixelated, very blocky.
Yeah, especially the arcade version.
Yes,
The arcade version compared to the PS2 was absolute shocking in terms of like aesthetic. Yeah,
it wasn't that great.
No, but the only good thing though is that at least with Tekken Tag 1, there on the arcades, there's a 60 Hz mode. Yeah, it's played at 60 Hz.
Yes.
But then you know when you go back to
version.
it's the PAL version that we got, and it's so slow and it's so awkward. But then you know I was used to Tekken Tag 1, you know, on the PS2.
Oh,
and then when I went to the arcade, I'm like, why is this so fast? You know?
there's turbo modes on.
Yeah, turbo mode, hyper fighting.
Yeah.
Tekken hyper fighting, you know, Tekken Tag. Yeah, so so you've got that, and but then with King of Fighters there, with the engine, it's just so dated. But then when they brought in,
Still plays well though.
yeah, 2002 I think was really good, and I think that was probably their best game. You know, out of all the King of Fighters.
It's a toss up at the moment between 98, 2002, and 13. For the best of the series. I think 14 is getting quite hard there now because it's getting quite popular.
14 looks a bit awkward because you know it's going from its original 2D-ness to like a 3D kind of look, but you know you still have the 2D sort of
Gameplay type thing?
gameplay.
Yeah. Like as soon as they get those graphics like sorted out properly, like at the moment the character models look amazing. The backgrounds don't match the character models, so they kind of pop out and don't look real.
Okay.
I think that might be a lot of the complaints for the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like right now the character models are really good. I don't know why people are calling it a PS2 game.
Okay. well, I guess it's like each and every one.
Yeah.
But basically, with I know when I went to Taiwan, just at the beginning of this year, everyone was actually playing a 2002 King of Fighters game. It's not 2002. It's not like
Unlimited Match. The one with
I
like
think
the 66 characters.
Yeah, that one.
That's a good game.
Is it? So is it actually? It's a pretty good game, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like
because that's all they play. That's all they play in Taiwan.
I should go to Taiwan.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, it's crazy as to like what. But basically, I think that that's the only game that they play in Taichung. Taipei, they play all sorts of games. Like Tekken is quite popular in Taipei, but yeah, in Taichung and maybe even in Hong Kong and some parts of China, it's King of Fighters.
Yeah, Hong Kong's always been. People from Hong Kong used to love King of Fighters. It was everywhere. Yeah, and over here, you always play all the Hong Kongese on it.
Yeah, especially in Yifan. So tell me about Yifans for you. You said that you enjoyed it.
Oh, the first time, yeah. Like the first time I went to Auckland to see Yifans was I think it was actually the 2010 Nationals. Was the first time I went there, and like it was set up on Queen Street, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And had like you go underground, and like it was all set up. There's rows and rows of games, a row of King of Fighters. Is like my dreams coming true. And it was like that for a couple of years, and it was pretty good with the maintenance. But then they had to move it to upstairs in another building, and it just died out. No one took care of the games anymore.
Well, there's no foot traffic, essentially.
No one came up there. There's no shops up there either.
Yeah. You're a fan of Yifans, aren't you, Alex?
Yeah, I was a big fan. We were often there playing the Tekken Tag and Tekken 5 as well. And then I would often go and sit on the other machines because you could literally find any machine you want there.
Yeah.
Especially the 300 ones.
Yeah.
I would sit a lot of time on those.
Those ones? Oh no, because they had a lot of the old Atari stuff on there. Like
old Atari, the old Ep08 basically in a cabinet. Yeah. So I spent most of the time.
You were like playing like Raston and stuff like that.
Yeah, while you guys were off the side playing King of Fighters and Tekken.
Yeah. But
there was so much people playing. I think there was like 4 back-to-back machines. But it was always full. There's always heaps of challenges. Yeah. And I actually, used to like. I think that was my favorite period of Tekken as well.
Do you remember at Yifans when I was playing King of Fighters and you were watching, and then I think a Chinese guy came on the other side, and I was doing random taunts in there, and you're like, don't taunt them. And I'm like, why not taunt?
Yeah, well, basically, I think that,
it was rude to them.
Yeah, it was rude to them, but, it was
part of the
weird.
game, man.
But there was also another one where, there's some parts of, for King of Fighters is that, I think it's only just a New Zealand thing, but, if they're dazed, if you daze your opponent, you just leave them and you just get them to recover.
Do these people not like winning?
I know, right? But that's just the thing that they do.
Too bad.
Yeah.
That's their loss then.
Yeah.
I'm not that good to beat them, like the Chinese people.
Yeah. They're really good, man. Like, but the thing is that it's so funny that in every King of Fighters game, there's, when you pick your team, there's always at least Iori in that team.
Yeah, it's like Kim Iori.
It's always Iori. Why is I know he's overpowered, but everyone uses him.
He's just a jack of all trades, man. He's got answers for everything. That's all. You just have a consistent amount of damage whenever you play him. That's pretty much it.
I think rather than a Tekken stream, this should be like a King of Fighters.
I was going to say King of Fighters podcast.
King of Fighters podcast. Eh? Yeah.
Everything goes King of Fighters when I'm around.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Eh? King of Fighters is a good game, but the thing is that when I used to really enjoy it when I was back in high school, but nobody really knew what that game was. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're Street Fighter or Tekken."
You have to introduce people to it. It's one of those games.
Yeah, because it's so tucked away. It's like one of those games at a game shop where it's like sort of in this high shelf where you have to like sort of reach up there and you have to like go, "Oh, what's this? What game's this?"
Yes.
Yeah, where and a lot of the sad thing is that in the whole Western sort of society of gaming, it's all about aesthetics.
Yeah.
if a game looks good or the graphics look good, then people will pick it up.
And really flashy, like Marvel's Capcom, really flashy. So King
Very-
of Fighters doesn't have any of that. It's quite more technical. So
Yeah.
but I think it was a better game.
So with that one there, that's the reason why I started playing Tekken really, and I remember you giving me so much shit, over MSN.
Oh, what really?
Yeah, because basically,
I didn't
all
play
I
Tekken.
remembered was you asked me. You said, "Oh, can I have a list of all your games on PS2?"
Yeah,
And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I gave it to you, and then you basically, I think you said to me, the first thing that you said after viewing that list was, "LOL at Tekkens."
Well, I didn't get into Tekken until 5. Like, I played 1 and 2, I just didn't enjoy them. But 5 was where I got into it properly.
Yeah. Well, I had Tekken Tag 1, and I also had Tekken 4 at the time.
Yeah, Tekken 4 was still terrible.
Yeah, Tekken 4 is a
It gets a lot of bad rep, but it wasn't as bad as people say it was. I mean,
hey, just because that was your game,
Tekken 3 was my game actually. It's one of my favorites.
If I want to fight on stairs, I'll play a different game.
I remember you staying at mine one time, and then you're like, "Hey, let's just jam some Tekken 4," and I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And you played Paw, and you were doing all these weird ass combos, you see his when you do his Demolition Man, and where you do the just frame, there's just this little spark of blue that just comes out, whereas now it's like this massive blue flame,
fireworks.
yeah. And then you're just like, what was that? That's just so puny and so little.
I used to take advantage of the some stages, with the height difference.
Yeah.
I knew that some things you do would hit me, so.
It's like playing Bushido Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb. But, that's pretty much it. So, what we're going to basically do here, guys, is we're going to go on the first break, so don't go away. Before we do that, is there anything that you wanted to plug there, Oro, with regards to the Rambats? What time it's going to be, where it's going to be, things like that?
Absolutely. No, if you're in Wellington tomorrow, which is what day is it?
Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday.
Is it? My days are wrong. Okay, so on Sunday this week, and it's Sunday every week, I'm setting up Rambats over Christmas, or casuals over Christmas, at Skynet Internet Cafe in Wellington City, in the CBD. It's $5 to get in because the owner of the net cafe wants some money out of it, which is good. And we just chill for Tekken and Street Fighter and other games.
So yeah, $5, all you can eat.
Yeah, all you can eat, except you have to bring your own food.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll go on a first break, guys. So don't go away. This is Crono.
Hey, this is Hani Mohani.
Yo, this is Blacker.
Hi everyone, this is Maven.
Hey, this is Nemesis.
This is Mizu, and you're listening to
the Salt Shaker podcast.
This is a new guy, and he's not that good in terms of basic. But what can I say? He's spamming these unseeable moves, and he was beating us, right?
Yeah.
So I was quite pissed, but at the same time, I couldn't say I'm pissed because that would look very bad.
Can you tell me, in your honest opinion, in our community, who do you think are the heels, or I should say, bad guys?
We're gonna make some enemies with this
No,
one.
you won't.
No.
It's all for fun.
Okay, yeah.
All for fun.
I think maybe Sivio?
Past his interview, in there, I'm standing there like, so, when was a time when you had to use your creativity to get yourself out of a mess with a customer? And in my head, I'm just like, oh man, I really need shit.
G'day guys, Yigs here. You're listening to Salt Shakers. Stay salty and stay Yigs.
And we're back, guys. Thank you for those that have tuned in there. For those that just tuned in, I have Kyokei and Oro here. This is also my trip to Wellington. Just to take a break from everything up in Auckland there. I know that Auckland is very, very chaotic at times. And just sort of chill with the boys. So, so guys, obviously, we've in the first segment there, we're talking about the games and everything like that. Let's talk about you guys, and let's talk about the podcast. So, Alex, you did mention that this is you don't really listen to many podcasts, and it's actually kind of a different vibe, when you're talking to me normally, I guess.
Very different. I noticed how you just have this professional, you just switch that you do, and it's very different, very refreshing to hear. And I noticed that it's not as easy as some people say it probably is.
It's not,
because you're constantly having to think, and I can see it that you're constantly thinking of the next thing to move on to, and the timing as well. So you have to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. I mean, it's you can't really just have a podcast and just talk about nonsense and things like that. I mean, yes, you can if you have the viewership. Yeah. But in most cases there, what we're trying to do there, or what I'm trying to do, is to really just build that fighting game community within New Zealand and Australia, because I am sort of branching off to Australia. Okay, right. With some of the more prominent players and things like that. As you already know, just 2 weeks ago or something like that, I had Yigs on my podcast.
Oh, right.
And I know that you know Yigs. And everything.
I mean, I don't know him, but I know of him.
Yeah, you know of him. I mean, he's another Xiaoyu player, obviously.
A great Xiaoyu player, yeah.
Yeah,
Watched
very.
Him play, yeah.
Yeah, very, very. He's definitely what you call a tactician when it comes to Xiaoyu and everything. Probably one of Oceania's best, Xiaoyu players.
So I take it that where you pick up a lot of the your strategy setups and that sort of thing as well?
Not really. I mean, all my strategies and everything is just watching. Well, Yigs, I do watch some videos and everything, but most of my strategies actually come from like Sodam, and sometimes if I want a more solid sort of fundamental Xiaoyu, I normally just I normally look at Ni's Xiaoyu. Yeah, or even just from aggression, pure aggression, pure setups and stuff. Tanukana, she has quite a good.
I've heard about her, and is she one of the up and coming big stars in the Xiaoyu world, or
not really? I mean,
what's it like?
Look, I mean, end of the day, there. I mean, as she is iconic, just because I'm not gonna. Obviously, it's 2017. We're not gonna sort of. Take the whole gender thing into consideration. Yeah. But for a player there, as a player, she is a very good Xiaoyu player. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with.
Right.
But, like after a setup, she does this and or something like that. And, just some of the things is just, she does it and I'm just like, okay, why would you do that?
Right.
Yeah, just things like that. But I mean, every Xiaoyu's different. Every player's different.
Yeah.
You know, when they play a certain character and things like that. But you know, it works for her, and that's the most important thing, really.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, she is a solid player altogether. I mean, I'll give her that much. Yeah.
Like learning like all the players' specific styles is part of the fun of like playing competitive fighting games. Like like with this person, you'd be like, he always does like a low kick when he gets up, but this person always like does a backdash. So you've got to plan around that as well. It's part of the good parts of it.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's just how it is, really. But yeah, in terms of the podcast, there, I mean, the reason why I asked you to is because, you know, there has been, you know, you guys has been at the fighting games or anything like that just as long as I have, or if not longer. So, you know, it's always good just to get someone or people with, you know, sort of like a more in-depth insight as to, you know,
more general knowledge.
Yeah, as to, you know, as far as I know, you know, there could be something that I could learn from you guys and things like that.
Come play Sailor Moon.
Come play Sailor Moon. Come on, man, it's a SNES game, and
it's real fun though, you know.
I know it's fun. I was playing it like yesterday with you, and I couldn't put it down. I wanted to beat you. That's all it is.
Should come over again before you leave.
Yeah, I could. Or you could bring the the SNES.
Yeah, I'm bringing it on Sunday. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, yeah, tell us about that Sailor Moon game. I mean, you said that there is actually quite a few people picking that up in the States.
Absolutely. There was a
What's the actual game called?
It's called Sailor Moon S. Then there's a long string of Japanese that I can't remember. It's for the Super Nintendo. There is a sequel that's not very good, so if people are interested in playing it, don't go for Super S, just go for normal S. There was a tournament like a month ago, and that got a lot of people interested in the game because they saw how many people were in it, how many people were actually doing well in it, and how entertaining the game was.
Yeah.
So we got an influx of people onto Discord, including myself. Because that's what brought me back to Sailor Moon, because I used to play it a lot when I was younger.
Right, okay.
And then from then on, it's just, I've been trying to help them out, spread the word about the game and get more people in. And
who actually started the scene again?
Oh, I'm not sure, really.
But someone from America, right?
Yeah. I think it was like, if Toby's still in the chat, he does a number of streams. Like I think he's playing another stream for next week.
Okay.
For
Are we meeting him on Sunday?
No, he's American.
Oh, okay.
He's one of those guys.
Ah, I see.
Okay, so it's Jogai Ranto Shuyaku Sudatsurin.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So no, I think that out of all the players, like all the characters, I think my favorite is actually Sailor Mars.
Sailor Mars, because you like her. She plays like Sagat.
She's cool.
Yeah,
I like it. No, but she doesn't have a tiger uppercut.
No, but she does have the flash kick, kind of a flash kick that she can cover that ground in front of her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's cool. I like her.
Yeah. All the fireballs like go different places, so it's great.
It would be better if you can control a fireball.
Well, yeah, maybe. It is a SNES game.
Yeah. No, but it was fun. It was really, really fun. I think that, you know, more people should really get into it.
Yeah, like at least try it. Like it's not bad. It's like one of the. I think to me it's the best fighting game on the Super Nintendo. Like play style wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, on the Super Nintendo, I mean, you do have Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Yeah, that was a good port, but it's not that good on the SNES, if you know what I mean.
It's not a common game. It's quite hard to find as well.
Yeah,
it is. And I remembered when I started getting into emulation, like that was about the time I met you actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to. There was 2 games on the SNES emulator that will not play, and Street Fighter Alpha 2 was one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was back then. Now they will play.
Yeah, the other one, Star Ocean, as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the 2 games that cannot play properly.
Well, at that time.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
At the time.
Yeah. At the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
the 92 fighting games on the SNES.
yeah. So you're saying that that's the best one,
To me, yes.
Sailor Moon.
Yep. It plays the best.
Okay, well, fair enough. So yeah, that's pretty much yeah. I guess that's there is a lot of games on the SNES, and you know, if you're gonna take that to be the best fighting game, you know, I'd say that is really high regard.
Yeah, it gets quite in depth.
Yeah. No, well,
like the guard cancels. Everyone's got a universal
it's
backdash.
so funny how you actually can, you know, everything sort of combos.
Yeah,
you know,
everything combos, and you can like counter hit with throws and command throws and do extra damage.
I really like Sailor Mars though, because I really like that that I think it's that knee that she does when she's up close.
Oh, I think like
it's like light kick.
Light kick.
Yeah, light kick. So it reminds me of Laura's medium kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
It's just, you know,
yeah.
It's got range.
You got to have familiarity with certain moves.
Yeah,
to get
it's
you
got
interested.
range. It's bullshit. It's got a high recovery. It's
There's a lot of bullshit in that game.
Yeah.
It's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, moving along there, you know, with regards to the with the podcast and everything like that, you know, I do want to say thanks for you know, taking the time for both of you guys to you know, just to tune in. I know that you know, this is probably new to you guys.
Very new, yeah.
But I've been doing this. I mean, this is the second season. I mean, this isn't going to be classified as you know, an episode or anything, because I think that this is me in Wellington and just sort of interviewing people and things like that. So it's just really just a filler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Oh, great. I feel great about myself now.
You guys are fillers. You guys are fillers. Don't worry. You guys... No, but it's still canon, but it's just fillers. It's still canon. It's still canon. It's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, what was your first insight of, you know, that, of when I told you this, I did say, hey, Alex, I'm going to run a podcast. What did you think? And you were kind of like, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, I knew that you were really good at talking. You were good at thinking on your feet. So I thought, yeah, it could work. But what would you talk about? Would you just be doing just Tekken exclusively? Would you just talking games in general? But
I wouldn't want to sit around for like an hour talking about frames. That's stupid. Why would I want to do that? You know. No, it's about the player base. Really, it's about knowing you as an individual and things like that. So, you know, the first episode that I did was with Blackout, a Wellington player. Okay. You know, just like you guys, okay. Wellington. Okay. Yes. And yeah, and I think that that's when everybody sort of dropped their whole facade about, you know, about my podcast there, saying, oh, it's going to be boring and everything like that. Because it's just talking about the game, and there's no depth to the game. Yeah. You know, if you're just going to keep talking about it, you're going to run out of things to talk about. So basically, me and Najith, we sort of just started talking about, you know, us as a player, what we do, and things like that. That's just sort of just to keep things afloat and keep things interesting. That's a good really. Concept, yes. Yeah. So, and I got most of it, as I was saying to you on the way to here, Oro, is that because I'm a huge wrestling fan, you know, I got it from all the wrestling podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's great. And I do thank Chris Jericho for providing me all those insights on what a podcast is, you know, how to sort of talk to you know, other players, or for him other wrestlers. Yeah. You know, on you know, how they actually got to where they were.
A lot of them are doing podcasts now, so there's a lot of things to go with. And
exactly, and podcasts itself is a very, very trendy sort of thing to do these days.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. You're old, okay? You're old.
I'm in a little bubble.
You're 40 plus, okay? You're in your little bubble.
I make no apologies.
A rocking chair with, like, you know, your warm tea and...
and my knitting.
And your knitting, your sweaters, you know, all your Christmas sweaters, I don't know.
I'm glad you know me so well.
Drinking eggnog, I don't know, on Christmas. But yeah, that's pretty much how the whole Salt Shakers thing came about. Yeah. So anyway, enough about this. Tell us about what you do, Oro.
Me?
Yeah. As a person, I want
As
sort
a
of.
person?
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know you, and I'm pretty sure that the community wants to know who you are and everything. So, yeah, let's talk about it. So you said that you also stream as well.
Yeah,
What do you stream?
I stream art mostly. I am a comic artist. I don't really do comics. I do kind of comic style pictures.
We had a comic artist last Friday, actually. I don't know if you know. This is Bloody Samon.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were into the whole wrestling sort of
like
thing, and
him and I, we play Tekken a lot whenever he comes down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Did he get you into actually the wrestling when you were doing it for a while?
No. He was in Auckland. I was in Wellington when I was doing wrestling.
Okay.
But generally
was that still IPW?
IPW was Auckland. The one I was in was NZWPW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were actually a wrestler at the time?
Yeah, at the time.
Did you get any matches?
I was only in the trainee stuff, so the only live shows I was in was security.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the whole security get up. You're not one of those guys that's just gonna sort of just come into the ring and just bust someone open.
No.
just like the Shield did. And they had their turtlenecks and they're like
Yeah, and then the armored vests.
Now they didn't have armored vests back then. It was just when they first debuted it, it was turtlenecks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was security guards.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just weird.
But yeah, so I stream art.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'll stream games, but it's mostly just art because I get a bigger fan base coming in to watch me draw than I do to watch me play games because that's quite overcrowded right now with streamers.
Your art's actually come a long way.
Yeah, I know.
With all of that there. I mean, I used to remember you just drawing a lot of Leona.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it, really.
Yeah.
So it was just mainly Leona and everything.
Yeah, that reminds me, I haven't drawn her this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I better get onto that.
You're forgetting.
I'll never forget Leona. She's my waifu, number one.
Number one?
Number one.
No, not number two.
Oh, we're talking about waifus now, right?
Come on, man. We haven't got up to that topic yet.
Okay, sorry.
So let's sweep that under the rug. Let's get that under the rug shortly. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
So, Alex, back then, in obviously in Tekken, obviously people knew who you were as Kyokei and things like that. This was back in Tekken 5 days, eh? You were also in a clan as well for Tekken 5. What was that?
It wasn't really a clan. It
wasn't a clan. It was just a bunch of dudes that just sort of got together and just said, "Oh yeah, we're cool because we got this name now."
Because everyone was doing it, so it was basically us, Eugene.
Yeah.
And also Tom L.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one called Lance. So basically, it was just the four of us, just putting our own name, and then everyone. I had my Xiaoyu name as Spank Me. That's what everyone called me, and that's what you called me as well.
I didn't call you Spank Me.
I didn't call you that either.
I did not call you Spank Me.
But you saw me that though. But some people knew me as that. And that was the name of my card. So it wasn't a great idea, but I thought it was funny at the time.
No, you see, there was also another sort of group that you were in. The EWTF.
Remember
the EWTF?
I think David was in it too.
It was David, like Takeoff Heaps. It was Nemesis.
That was them though. I actually was not in that.
I thought you were in it.
No, I don't think he was.
Because right now, like most, there used to be like WFG and things like that, and now I think that there's like the Salt Factory. We've got that.
Oh, really?
In Auckland. So Salt Factory. We've got obviously the Salt Shaker Boys, which I'm in. So we've got Virtual Bacon and Drax that's in that as well. So yeah, that's how we basically just came up with the podcast. It's like Virtual Bacon had this name. He had this idea for a very long time. He just didn't know how to go on about it. And I was like, hey Tom. He's like, yeah. I've got this podcast idea. I'm gonna get some people around and he goes, let's call it Salt Shakers. I'm like, okay, yeah, that works.
Okay, so that's how I was born. Okay.
Yeah, and that's how the Salt Shakers was born. Yeah, pretty much.
And this is a long-term project for you as well.
Trying to get it into trying to make it a long-term project. I mean, I don't know how much gas we've got in the tank, but we're gonna try and make this last as long as possible. We'll cover most of the Tekken guys, and then we're going to move on to Street Fighter and King of Fighters, and just anyone that plays fighting games. Eventually, if we get big enough, we could start interviewing people that play League of Legends and CS:GO and all those others.
You guys are one of a kind in New Zealand that actually does this with the community.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen any other podcast or anything like that that's within New Zealand or anything.
With the way your overlay set up, you could probably like do a few tournament streams on your.
We could. We are.
Oh, good.
There's going to be one that's happening on Saturday, which is tomorrow. Yeah, so that's off-season Salt, which is held by Mighty Ape.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so Mighty Ape's actually helping run this, and there's a grudge match that's going to be between Big Chopper and Cub T. And I don't know if you remember Cub T. He was also known as Banzai from Tekken Zaibatsu.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that name.
Yeah. So that's him. That's him.
Okay.
So they're playing Street Fighter 5.
Okay.
And it's a grudge match. So it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of shit talking, but that's what this game. That's what fighting games are all about, man. You talk shit, you get salty, and then you just go back to normal. So basically, I remember you getting super salty, man. At me when we were at an arcade, and then you pretty much you're using Xiao Yu, and then pretty much I kicked this other guy off.
Right.
The other side of the machine, and I jumped on and I beat you, and then you're like, man, why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to do that, man? And then all of a sudden, and then later on, I was just like, it got all quiet in the car, and I'm like, so what do you want for dinner? And you're like, I don't know, BK. It's just like, it basically, so, you get salt, but then later on, it just goes back to normal.
I had my fair share of salt, a lot.
I don't get salty anymore.
More salt than others, but...
Well, that's the thing about fighting games. If you don't get salty, you're not passionate about the game.
Oh,
and that's just how it is.
It
really.
depends on the person, man.
Well, it's all based on the person of how much salt you have.
Yeah.
But I think that people get salty from time to time. I mean, if you think about it, like rugby fans, they're always salty.
Yeah.
League fans are always salty.
League
especially like Warriors fans, they're super salty.
No, they used to promising everything and getting wooden spoon. That's a given.
Yeah, so I mean, you have all these Warriors fans going, "Go the Warriors," and then they lose, and then everyone gets super salty and starts like throwing things around.
Yeah, and then no one goes to town to party because they're all so upset.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good time.
Yeah, so it's every sort of, I'd say, game that people play, people get salty.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
Tekken's
a
had
thing.
fair share. I mean, you see a lot of people, but some people do take it a lot further.
What, like Dylan? Remember
And then
Dylan?
you had Vince, some of those guys, the old Tekken Tag, Tekken 4,
Yeah.
who didn't take losing very well.
Yeah.
What you were saying?
Well, you've got Vince. Yeah, Vince is he's definitely changed. With everything. But back then, yeah, he didn't take losing very, very well. He just didn't like losing. I most of us don't, but he really took it to another level, especially Casey as well.
Oh, did
Casey, you knew Casey.
But that was probably not long before, I believe, they moved to Australia.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so you've got that things like that, but it's fighting games for you. And that's the reason why we love fighting games so much, is because, it's just getting the hype and getting salty at one another, but then, we just forget about it and go eat something together.
Do you get the same amount of salt when you're playing, non-fighting games, like LoL and other things like that?
I do get salty when I'm playing League of Legends, because, it's a fighting, I mean, it's not really a fighting game, it's not 1-on-1, it's 5-on-5. And if someone screws up, then, everyone gets salty. So, yeah, it's... But I guess that, that's not really my game.
You were playing quite a lot for a while.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's not really a game that, I'd always keep playing.
No.
Like, I'll always come back to Tekken.
No, you will. That's right.
Like, that's how it is. and I'm just waiting for you to, just to sort of dust off your old arcade stick and bring that along with you to Rambats.
I'll stick to Final Fantasy 14.
I'm pretty sure so many people will give you so much stick for that, but anyway, whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. So,
hey, it's a good game.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? So you also play, obviously the reason why I played the first theme song as a starter was because of Skullgirls. So you also play Skullgirls.
I don't play it competitively.
Yeah.
But I've been supporting Skullgirls since 2005.
Because they're an indie group, that's sort of it's an indie game.
Lab Zero.
Yeah.
They had a lot of trouble with Konami for a while, but they managed to pull through, and now they're making Indivisible. So it's good.
Was it licensing issues? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've spent a lot of money on them. So.
Well, so is it? They kind of play like Guilty Gear,
Skullgirls was more based around Marvel too.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got the 3-person
just broken shit, eh?
Yeah.
What, dial combo?
Not that bad. Like there's infinite protection. It's mostly dial combo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you got like tag mode. If you want to play like 2 or 3 players, you can pick them and just swap in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's set up like Marvel, but it's its own beast.
Yeah.
I want to get good at it, but there's not really many people that play it. So.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. There's heaps of other fighting games that sort of that has a lot of potential, but it's just got lack of players.
Yeah, like Street Fighter the movie.
Street Fighter movie, you like that?
The arcade game's amazing.
You like it?
It's so good. It's got super like autocorrects when like they jump over you. It's great.
Oh my god!
I like the bottom of the barrel.
Well, I'm
games.
talking about we're talking about the newer stuff. Like obviously. Like, let's say, let's just talk about, obviously, if there's Street Fighter, then, people, when they say, let's play Street Fighter, it's Street Fighter 5 now. That everyone's focusing on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you still get the people that's playing Street Fighter 2, Hyper Fighting.
Or Third Strike.
Yeah.
I'll play Third Strike anytime.
You play Third Strike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hyper Fighting's been released on a lot of platforms now, hasn't it? Like,
every
the
platform.
Wii and that sort of thing.
Yeah. But the thing is that what I want to cover, on this podcast is that with a lot of the fighting games, a lot of people get quite stubborn about switching. So I know that with Tekken, we've been pretty good. We've always been sort of playing the new Tekken. We haven't really, and we never look back.
Accepted changes that's come with each.
We've accepted the changes.
Iteration. That's right.
With a lot of people didn't like Tekken 6 that much, so they kept on playing the last version of Tekken 5.
DR.
Yeah, DR. Because I much prefer playing DR than Tekken 6. Like DR is a lot more fun.
But that's the thing, though. If it comes to competitions, like
it's more balanced, I think.
Yeah, I know. But when it comes to competition, tournaments and things like that, it's you're gonna have to realize that. That people have to play Tekken 6 in order to go to tournaments and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to imply.
Yeah.
A lot of the communities, I love me some Smash. Okay. I'll say you this much. Okay. I know that a lot of people say that Smash is not a fighting game, but I like Smash. I play it casually, and I will accept that that Smash 4 is the new Smash. And I would play that. I wouldn't want to play Melee or anything like that. I mean, it's my opinion. I mean, it's my podcast, but it's my opinion. But no, to be very honest, I feel that there is a lot of stubbornness in the fighting game community. A lot of people, you might think that Smash isn't a fighting game, whatever, but I think that...
Why are you looking at me, man?
Well,
you and your Sailor Moon, that's right.
Yeah, you and your Sailor Moon. But yeah, me with Smash, I mean, I love playing 4. Smash 4 is cool. Melee is good at the time, but the thing is that it's dated. We need to move on.
Yeah, we don't need your Fox versus Fox Final Destination no items.
Or Marth versus Fox or whatever. Yeah. It's just to me, I feel that with Melee is that I did have a discussion with someone that plays Melee and knows Melee. You know, like the part, like it's the back of their hand. And they were saying that yes, it hasn't been updated for a long time. Like there's no updates on it.
It's on GameCube, so
Yeah, and it's on GameCube, and it's preferable to play it on a CRT.
yeah.
People are coming up with new stuff all the time for it, like, you know, how to break the game and things like that. But for me, it's just like, look, okay, well, there's a new Smash that's come out.
Yeah.
Just pick that up. Like, just deal with it. Accept the changes. That's just how it is, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same goes with Street Fighter. Like, a lot of people would play Street Fighter 2, but the thing is that Street Fighter 2, the competitions or the tournaments there, they don't really have many players anymore. It's more, they all focus on Street Fighter 5 now.
Yeah, well, even that's died down though. Like from the first Evo, it's gone down considerably for like the Evos after that.
Why do you think so?
Oh, it's not that great.
You mean compared to like 4 and or Third Strike?
Yeah, like 4 was a lot better. Third Strike's a fantastic game,
Yeah.
but I think the arcade edition for 5 that's coming out might revive the community a bit.
Right.
But yeah, like I do agree with what you're saying. Like people should go to the newest game, but a lot of the time, the old games are just still really too much fun.
I understand that, but you know what I'm trying to say is that, like, if there's a game there, like let's say League of Legends, you know, you obviously when you're gonna be playing League of Legends there, you know, you're gonna play on the newest patch, or whatever.
That'll be yep.
Yeah, and obviously, if I don't know if you guys keep up with League of Legends or know of anything of League of Legends, but they had a map change. They revamped the map and everything because it was getting too out of date.
Okay.
Now you're not gonna get someone who's gonna be like, "Ooh, let's play on the old map." You know, you don't get that anymore.
Oh, fair enough.
It's still got the three paths and the
Yeah,
monsters in the middle. It's still the same.
It's still the same, but then you know, every season it changes. You see, like you'll get different creep spawn times and you know, different buffs. Like, you know, if you're getting a dragon or something like that, then you know they give you different buffs at a time, and it's different. So people just have to adapt to it, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and why can't they do that with fighting games? I guess it's probably because they're too stubborn in a way, but that's just how it is, really. Like, you know, especially the Smash community. I know Melee is a good game. I know that, you know, it was really good at its time, but Smash 4's out. I mean, Brawl was an absolute crap game.
Yeah,
you know, and everything.
Like, they did mod it to try and make
it better.
They did
mod it to make it better, but Smash 4, I think, is okay.
I think the main problem is if there is anywhere between 1 or 2 people for you to play with, you're still going to play the old games. Like, it doesn't matter if there's a competitive scene. If you've got people to play with in a game that you think is fun, then by all means you shouldn't stop playing that game. Like, that's why I still play like 97, 98 King of Fighters, 2002, 13. I play all the ones whenever someone wants to play them. Just it's the same, and it's like,
well, unless, you know, you just have that game that's only available at, you know, at the arcade, at your local arcade, then yeah, by all means, keep playing those games. I mean, you get most of the people in Taiwan that's still playing 02.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you will never get you'll never get 14 on an arcade machine or anything like that.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think it's on arcades.
But that's only in Japan or somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I have not seen it. And also, Street Fighter 5 is not on arcade. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, most
and
people,
Skullgirls.
Most people don't really play it on arcade anymore. I mean, especially in the Western society, you're not gonna just. I think that it all comes down to convenience now. I mean, I wouldn't really want to travel, you know, from home all the way to town just to go to my local arcade just to pick up, just to play a game.
Just out of your way, not like before.
Yeah.
That is true.
Because there was a community back then. Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, I mean, what we'll do is we'll continue this. We're going to take a short break now, guys, and so don't go away. There'll be more fun stuff to talk about in the next segment. So yeah, just we'll just go on the break there. This is Crono, and we're going on the break now.
Hey guys, it's Dave from Standing Fierce.
Hey yo, this is Ghost Chips.
Hey, this is Sky.
Hey, this is Iron Soul.
Kia ora, this is Wazo.
This is Simp, and you're listening to the Salt Shaker Podcast.
You're listening to the Salt Shaker Podcast.
Yo, it's your boy Pete Town Kuruma.
Yo, it's Booze Bender.
Yo, what up? This is Reckless Steel.
Yo, this is Hyena. You're listening to the Salt Shaker Podcast.
And you're listening to the Salt Shaker Podcast.
Yo, this is Parasite NZ.
Hey, this is Penny Power.
This is Royston, and you're listening to the Salt Shaker Podcast.
You're listening to the Salt Shaker Podcast.
Hey everyone, my name is Gabe, aka Jabu the Hut, and you're listening to Salt Shakers Podcast.
And we're back. Thank you everyone for tuning in. So, yeah, let's just get on to the next segment there. Jeez, man, your chair. Come on, man.
It's my old man chair.
Your old man chair.
Actually, Ross can CRC with me.
Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, you guys were talking during the break, with regards to the King of Fighters. What did you?
Just seeing, whether he liked the direction it was heading in. Because.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you said that it was.
I'm just happy that there's King of Fighters being made. It's my favorite fighting game series.
It's kind of funny that a lot of people think that King of Fighters would die along with SNK, but
SNK is like great now.
Yeah.
They earned a lot of money from their mobile games division, and they've got plenty of money. Like they've got financial gains this year. It's great.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to make some of the old ones.
So
like
what? So King of Fighters is King of Fighters still being made by
Yeah.
SNK?
There was that time in...
It was Playmore at one point.
In 2001, 2002 was Eolith and Playmore.
That was Korean group, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Korean. But SNK like got the rights back to it.
And when did that happen?
I think 2003 was it actually?
2003 onwards.
Yeah, 2003 onwards. Yeah, and then like they started working on that. It became less and less because they were having problems with bankruptcy, like a fair number of times until they got bought by Tencent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Tencent helped them turn around, and now they're making like a huge profit.
So just from mobile games, is it?
Yeah, from mobile games and like console re-releases.
But aren't they like a different, like it's a different SNK now? It's not just SNK. It's
a lot of the old people are back, like to work on it. Like it's the old SNK, but for the current day. Yeah, and let's just really hope that they release more games, not just cell phone games.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting on to these next questions here. So I know that you guys, especially you, Alex, you're quite out of date or out of the scene for a long time.
Out of date.
Out of date.
Doesn't even start.
Past its use by date. Now, anyway, during the time where when you were playing Tekken, is there anyone that you sort of thought of as your main rival at the time?
Yes, there is one. His name is Simon, and he went by Ginsu.
Oh, okay.
Ginsu, yeah. Yoshimitsu, Eddie player.
Yeah.
Back then he used to play Anna a lot, but he was the one who was similar to my level, so we had a lot of fun going back and fro, trading insults and trading wins as well.
Alright,
so he's the one that played the most.
Okay.
He's still around somewhere.
Okay, so he's still around in Wellington?
Yeah, I believe he jumped on Tekken 7, but I haven't seen him online yet.
Oh, okay. Ginsu, yeah, that's definitely a name that sort of rings a bell. Well, I know that you didn't really play, much Tekken, but would there be...
I did a lot at the arcades.
At the arcades at the time, yeah, but was there anyone that you'd actually sort of liked to play a lot and sort of considered a rival?
Aside from you two, not that many people. Like, whenever I actually got to play you, I really enjoyed it. So it was...
Even though you lost a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously not the best Tekken player. Like, I still enjoy playing it. I do learn tricks as I go on, but I'm nowhere near a high tier competitive.
I definitely just want to just sit down with you one time and just play King of Fighters, just jam the shit out of it.
If there's time this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for King of Fighters, I'm not good on a fight stick, man.
That's right. I got pads.
Yeah, pad is good, and the thing is that my button layout's so awkward in King of Fighters.
Where you're like R2, L1, select, and circle.
Nah, it's okay. So basically, you have punch, which is square and triangle.
Yeah,
and then
the Capcom style.
Yeah, but then the
you do the SNK style.
No, not that one. I play it.
Let's figure out.
Yeah, I play. So punch is actually
X and square.
Yeah.
That's the old SNK style for the console games. Like for the PlayStation when '96 came out, it came out with that button layout.
Yeah, it was so weird, but like I got used to King of Fighters that way.
You know what? You need to learn the new style. You can't just stick to the old style all the time.
That button layout is so weird. I can't play like normal Tekken ways.
Yeah, but now it's like roll is just like this. Those two buttons.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I just can't get used to it. So yeah. Let's just see what else is on this list. Oh, anyway, with your overseas experience, you did actually you were in Japan. This was like what, last year or the year before or something like that? 2015. April. Yeah, so 2 years ago. How was that? Like, did you hit the arcades or anything like that? Like, during that time?
He's too old for arcades.
When you did get, I got to it for a couple of hours. What's happening?
Oh, he just said he's too old for arcades.
I visited as much as I could actually when I was over there.
Good.
But it was mainly a lot of the UFO machines and that sort of thing.
Oh, you love the UFO machines.
But the Tekken machines were actually were quite busy at the time.
Okay.
So I couldn't jump on much. This is before, obviously, it came here.
Is this Tekken 7, was it?
Tekken 7, the original Tekken 7.
Just vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla.
I hated that game.
Yeah.
I hated the game. The movement was awkward.
Yeah, it was a bit different to now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't get much go. I did play a Shay a couple of times. Sorry, did play Shay a couple of times.
Yeah.
Sorry, my chair.
Yeah.
And probably played a couple of people.
Yeah.
And obviously promptly lost. Well, I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the arcades is another thing there.
It's a different story, isn't it?
You have to go there.
Yeah.
And then the ones I went to were smoking ones, unfortunately, though. So.
Well,
but that's just the way it is.
Well, what I notice is that when you play Tekken 7 at the arcades, seriously, it's just like playing Tekken at home. You just sit there in your own machine, and people from all across Japan will be challenging you.
Yeah, they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That was one thing I liked.
You can't actually go through the first stage without being challenged.
Get ready for the next battle.
Yeah, it's always get ready for the next battle. Yeah. Or a new challenger. Yeah. Every single time. But
good thing it doesn't have much of an arcade mode.
Yeah. Well, with that there, so obviously there's heaps of players. I'm pretty sure that you win quite a lot of them for a while. Until before.
I only played a handful.
Only a handful.
Only a handful, 5 or 6 games. But I did revert to some of the cheaper moves that she had.
I thought you don't play Xiao Yu anymore. I thought you play Paul or something.
Paul's too straightforward.
Just Panda.
Death Fist, Demo Man. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Death Fist and Demo Man.
That seemed to win quite a lot.
All I remember from you was Xiao Yu and Panda. You just slowed down on Xiao Yu and it was all about Panda for a...
we talking about Tekken 5 or?
Either.
Yeah. I did play Panda for quite a while. I was trying to get him so that...
That's because his Xiao Yu was getting worse.
It was getting worse.
Like it got to the point. It got to the point where basically I just kept thrashing him in mirror matches, and he's just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not playing this game anymore.
Xiao Yu's not fun anymore.
Yeah, Xiao Yu's not fun. I'm losing. Yeah.
That's probably why I went to Paul. At the time, I thought it might have been a good anti-Xiao Yu type thing.
Not really. I don't think you can touch me in Tekken 7 now, so it's fine.
Oh well, we'll see.
Okay. We'll see after this. But no, here's basically, so before we obviously we're sort of running out of time now. I mean, we're getting to that point. So obviously, before we wrap things up, before we jump on our horses and ride off into the sunset, there's one more question that I wanted to ask. And and basically that's so that I ask everyone this on the podcast. So Alex, who is your fighting game waifu?
Mokujin.
Mokujin, no, come on.
Be real.
Be real.
We all know it's Geese Howard.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Geese Howard.
No, so who would it be? Would it be Xiao Yu? Is it Xiao Yu?
I still don't like the word waifu. But, okay,
who's your favourite?
Xiao Yu.
Really?
But
Xiao Yu?
I wouldn't say the word waifu. I've just said it.
Why? Why are you embarrassed? Why are you so embarrassed?
I think it's really weeb.
Hey, you were a weeb at one point, so...
Not that much. You don't know me that well then, young grasshopper.
Oh, jeez, okay. So what about you? I mean, I know who it is, but,
Yeah, I mentioned it before.
You did mention it before, but let's get more in... Let's
explain... Get more in depth?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What's this about? So why Leona? Why is Leona your waifu?
Alright, back in 1998, I had a Korean friend, and he introduced me to King Fighters 97.
Yes.
He also introduced me to the codes to unlock Leona's Riot mode, her Orochi mode.
Yes.
And that's the one point where I was like, this character is awesome.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and that was, from then, every King of Fighters game, I'd main Leona, except for like 11, which she wasn't in. But, yeah.
She wasn't in 11?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, she's just my main in every King of Fighters game since then, because I really like that kind of character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Was there any reason as to why you liked Leona over everyone else?
No, I don't know.
Is it the hair?
I think I like ponytail characters at the time, because I also like Sailor Jupiter.
Right. Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it would be something like the blue hair or something like that.
Stuff I like. More now, like I like military stuff, and I like blue hair, and I like ponytails and stuff because of Leona.
Right.
Like she helped.
okay.
All
So
that stuff.
basically so she's your center, and basically everything about Leona, you actually start to sort of like or appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. Now, so what about in terms of all the King of Fighters? Which one did you like the best? Which Leona did you like the best in which fighting game?
I kind of like the 13. King of Fighters 13 Leona.
Is that the one where she's like in a tank top? With like with military.
See, it's not just the look. Mm-hmm. It's the playstyle and the HD combos. I spent a lot of time in the lab just learning charge cancel combos, and I got really good with those.
Right. Okay.
And then I took them out for the next game.
Oh, okay. What about you, Alex? With Xiao Yu, is there like a certain sort of certain version that you liked?
Certain version of Xiao Yu?
Yeah. Like, Tekken 5, or which outfit? Or...
That Tekken 1 with the square jaw and
I don't think she was in Tekken 1.
She wasn't in Tekken 1.
Oh, okay, or Tekken 2.
No, he probably liked her in Tekken 3.
Oh, yeah.
She was ugly, man, back then in Tekken 3.
No, she came in 3, didn't she?
Yeah. But she had one of the best, side steps. It was awesome. If you saw your side steps, almost wouldn't actually hit, because a lot of them, even though they tracked, a lot of them wouldn't hit her.
Yeah,
because she
was broken in 3.
3 in tag was toned down somewhat, but she still had bigger side steps than most other characters.
I think that Yiggs covered that really, but he actually said that in 7, they made her very strong, but she's still not as strong as she was in 3, right?
No, definitely not.
So 3, she's definitely one.
I consider her. She's probably natural. While standing 2, natural juggle, non-counter hit, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
that was really good. And she had quite good recovery on a lot of her moves as well.
Oh, okay.
And safe on a lot of moves as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. For me, as like I said, is that I covered this in the previous podcast. Is that I didn't really start playing Xiao Yu. I actually played Miharu in 4.
Oh, right.
I actually really, really liked Miharu. She was cool.
The main difference is Miharu has slightly longer reach with her punch and kick.
Yeah.
Slightly longer.
I didn't know she was in 4. I thought she was only in tag 2.
No, she was in 4. She was like Xiao Yu's alternate costume.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for taking the time again, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate this filler episode and everything.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Interesting experience for me.
Interesting experience, like getting you out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
Another thing to add to my list of stuff I've done online.
Yeah. Is there any specific shout outs that you guys want to make out before we go?
For ourselves?
Yeah.
Alright. Hi, I'm Oro. You know me. I was on the podcast for the last hour and a bit. I stream on Twitch at 100 Megashock with the numbers 100. And my Twitter is Orosmut. OROSMUT. It's safe for work, don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, so is there anyone that you'd like to sort of give shout outs to, like, say hi to, or like, things like that?
Aside from To Be More Crazy in the chat, and the SNES Fighters Discord, who have been, really helpful and supportive of, all the SNES games and getting everyone into it. That's just it, pretty much. Those guys have been really awesome. They've been organising the tournaments in America as well.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Alex? Is there anyone that you want to give shout outs to? Your wife is not included.
Sure, not listening to this anyway.
Very nice.
Nah.
Probably shout out to all the I guess all the old school players who've managed to keep it up playing all these years, got the energy, dedication, and time, and somehow finding the time to really keep up with all the new players and all the newest versions of Tekken, and somehow not falling behind. And then I think that's
what, like a Jith?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's been playing since 4, 3. No, 4. Only 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Something like that.
Yeah, but I don't think there's many left from who played Tekken 2, Tekken 3.
Yeah,
behind.
For sure.
But yeah, anyone who's playing Tekken Tag onwards, that's about 15, 17 years worth. So yeah, good on you. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, you tried to, but you just failed miserably. But no, for me, I'd like to thank, everyone who's actually, who will be watching this. I know that it's at an awkward time where everybody's sort of at work still and everything. But now, for those that are actually tuning into the VOD, thank you very much. I also wanted to say thanks to my friend Nick, who's supplied me with this laptop for running this podcast. Special thanks goes out to Drax and Virtual Bacon, for putting all the pieces together and for promoting the page. Also, special thanks goes out to the consoles, who's actually, who I've actually spoken to there, because I'm using their music at the moment, just for padding, and, they're a really, really cool band, so, and they do a lot of covers for a lot of game music, so, be sure just to listen, to them on, YouTube, which is the consoles. That's TheConsoul. So not like as in the gaming consoles, but consoles as in jazzy soul music. Right. So no, thank you very much there, guys. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be tuning out now. This is Crono.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey, this is BG.
This is Chogilo.
Hey, this is Take This.
Hey, what's up? This is Seville.
Yo, this is Dan Banter, and you're listening to...
You're listening to the Salt Shaker podcast.
And you're listening to the Salt Shaker podcast.